Sorry, not a good start. Hi everyone, how's it going? Can you hear me alright? Let me know in the chat window, please. I need to pop this out so that I can see it better from a distance. I'm an old guy. Okay, it seems like we're streaming. Loud and clear. Then let me know about the volume because last time my mic volume was kind of low, and then whenever an ad or something popped up, people would have like jump scares or something. So let me know if the sound quality is okay. And yeah, today is part 2 of our Death Star live stream. I didn't manage to do one earlier because you can kind of listen by my voice. I'm not like 100% still, but I I need to get going with this build. So yeah, so last time this was the progress. So this was bag number 1 out of not bag, book number 1 out of 6 that the set has. This is still the first box out of the 3 that the set also has. And yeah, I've already dumped the pieces. I actually built Chewbacca off screen. Jesus, today won't be easy. And yeah, I think we're starting to do some of the builds of the rooms. This should be the trash compactor scene. So yeah, should all be good. Let me just see the chat window. Yeah, so let's see who's here. Sorry about my voice. Warren, Tatexi, Luke, Jen, Brandon, Rachel, Producciones, Mando Bricks, like that name, Pedro, hi, Joel H. Yeah, let me know if the volume is okay, and whenever like an advertisement or something pops up, I can like switch it, maybe increase it if needed or not. But yeah, hopefully it will go well, and yeah, I'll just start doing the trash compactor. How's everybody week have been? You do not sound that well. Yeah. I'm not 100% recovered. You can kind of tell by my voice, but yeah, I think I'm good enough to build for a little bit. I've been building these days, like taking my time with some upcoming Lego sets, taking it easy, not stressing myself too hard, and let's see. Whatever I manage to do today, I'll do, and if I'm not feeling up to it, then I'll just call it quits, and that's probably okay. Boa noite, we have some Portuguese people over there. Boa noite. Just started fall break. I would love to have fall break. I haven't had a break since, I don't know, since before I was a father, perhaps. That's how it goes with fatherhood. Well, Brickworld Chicago. Last time I went to Brickworld Chicago, that was kind of a break, you know, no kids around. I just had time to enjoy myself, be with my buddies, so yeah. I guess I did have some breaks every now and then, but yeah, most of the times not so much. I am in my office at work staring at your ship in a bottle, one of my favorite sets. Thanks, Steven. It was one of my favorite sets to design as well. Such a fun concept, great concept by the way by Jake Sadovich. Yeah, I got to meet him. Not this year, I think he wasn't this year, but last year he was at Brickworld, or was it 2 years ago? I don't remember. No, I went this year and I went last year. But last year Jake Sadovich was there, so that was quite the reunion. You know, fan designer and model designer. That was kind of cool. What's not so cool is like placing down all of these one by one tiles. Not my favorite kind of stuff to do. So I wonder, because I think like some stuff will be on top of this. Not sure if you can see it, maybe this camera here. Yeah, all of these tiles. But I think the function will like slide on top of this, so I'm kind of curious to see where will all these leads to. The Source Dragon of Motion. I haven't been keeping up with Ninjago. I'm assuming that's Ninjago. So I haven't been keeping up with Ninjago lately, even though I have like the monstrosity sweater. But yeah, I'm not too sure what Lego set that is. But you know, Ninjago dragons are always cooking. So it must be cool. Do you normally like to build with music or television in the background? Yeah, I usually have like a show or something or a movie. Music, not so much. I'm not much of a music listener myself. But yeah. Today I've been building and I've been like rewatching One Punch Man because season 3 is starting soon, so I wanna catch up with One Punch Man, the previous 2 seasons. So I've been watching that today. And the other day I was watching The Martian, such a great movie as well. Sci-fi stuff and anime are my go-to when building stuff. Despite of the build of the structure, do you feel it will be mini builds all the way? It feels like it. There's like the big lift function going through all of the floors, but just by looking at the box it can kind of see that's just mini scenes. And I'm okay with that, because you can see all of them in one go. Imagine if this was like a round Death Star, you know, like people wanted, but then it would be like all covered up with panels. That wouldn't be so fun. Thoughts on the upcoming Batmobiles? They look cool. I got to see them on Fan Media Days, and they look sweet. Good price points. It's like $30 for all of them, right? Or each of them, actually. That's how you say it. But what I really liked was the fact that the Batman design team did the golden versions of all of the vehicles, and they looked really cool. They looked really, really cool. That's the kind of thing that like fans would die to get, you know? Those golden versions. And of course the Batman logo set has the golden Batman minifigure, which is also cool. But you know, getting those golden cars as a special something would drive fans insane. But that was a cool thing to see. Though honestly I'm not much of a DC type of guy myself. I'm more of a Marvel fan. Marvel Cinematic Universe more precisely, even though you know Marvel Cinematic Universe lately has been in a bit of a downfall trend, sadly. But yeah, until Phase 4, until Endgame, good stuff. Have you made any anime inspired mocks? No, I have not. Just watch The Martian 2. Good movie, right? The Martian, Interstellar as well. One of my favorites. Those are some movies that every now and then, at least once a year or something, I'll rewatch. They're really good. I really enjoy those. You'll be creating a full review video after you build this set. Yes, that's the plan. But the plan is going like even like deeper with the review, not just like focusing on the set, but also like discussing all of the interviews that the Lego designers for this set gave to Brickset, to David from Solid Bricks Studios, and I think it was Tips and Bricks, the blog, because they say very nice, very interesting things on the interview of the blog that the other interviews didn't get, where they specifically talk about a very interesting point that even though like a Lego element is in active production, there's a code associated to certain elements, which means that even though the element, let's say, this plate, there's internal codes for Lego designers to be aware that some pieces have this special code, and which means that, okay, the piece is in production, but it has a retirement date. So it means that if you have a Lego set launching next year, but the code states that this piece is retiring by the end of this year, then you will no longer be able to use this element unless, of course, you spend one of those frames that the designers were talking so much about in the interviews. So yeah, the Tips and Bricks interview got a very interesting point to discuss. So yeah, the plan is to do an in-depth review of the set whenever I have the time, and discussing the interviews and trying to explain like the choices sometimes designers are forced to make. If they could, they would design the best Lego sets with all of the dual molded, all prints, arm printing, everything that they know fans would love to get on their sets, but there's restrictions. They can't do it all. So I think the Death Star review will be a good video to, go over some of those topics, and at least having something to point people to whenever I'm talking about, like, designers have restrictions. So I want to have a video to point them to, so this will probably be it. And meanwhile, we got Han Solo, I believe, in the Stormtrooper outfit. Pretty cool minifigure. The piece impossible for new people to get into it. What's being ignored? I don't understand. What's being ignored? I don't know. Peter Collins, I really love and appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Peter. Inception, good movie as well. Sorry about my voice. I got some tea ready for today to help me get through this. I would love to hear more about the inside scoop about frames and budget, etc. Exactly. Whenever designers are working on a Lego set, they have like a budget that they need to work towards, and they also have these frames, which is the amount of different color changes or new prints or decorations that they can get to do per Lego set that they're designing. So, so yeah, there's restrictions. Being a designer these days is not as easy as it was back then, I feel. It would be really challenging. And these days, like for the past 10 years, like social media has advanced so much where like designers get exposed so much, and then there's all of the reviews and stuff, and they sometimes get like negative backlash, which they shouldn't at all. They do such amazing work. So I don't know. These days, if you want to be a Lego designer, you have to be tough and to be able to handle, social media pressure as well. I know some designers like avoid social media altogether because of, that part of the community that's not so kind, unfortunately, which is sad to hear. But yeah, that's the truth. I've had some designers telling me that. So Be nice out there, guys. Trevor's, thank you, you're kind. Oh, sorry. I forget about the POV, sorry guys. Restore chat. The LEGO Ideas Challenge, the new antique sewing machine. What do you think the chances of the actual set maintaining the movements that was displayed in the fan submission? That's always challenging, you know, for LEGO Ideas designers to. It depends. Sometimes the designs are really good, sometimes they are not, but usually like designers will always have to start from scratch most times. Because whatever worked in the submission not usually transfers that well into like a proper Lego set, you know, stability wise. I remember, for instance, the ship in a bottle, which is the one I'm closer to, you know. Jake Sadovich's original idea was very big, and when I started building some sketches out of it, we soon came to the realization that building a Lego bottle that big wouldn't be stable. So, and believe me that I tried to make it stable, but it was simply impossible. So yeah, from there we had to decide that okay, maybe the design needs to be smaller. So yeah, sometimes changes need to be made in order for the ideas to turn into good products, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with this sewing machine idea, but if it did go through and if it's being turned into a Lego set, I'm pretty sure that the designers will make their best in order to retain like the most iconic features of the submissions, I would say. And if that submission in particular had functions, and that was the old gist of the submission, then I'm pretty sure that the designers will figure out a way to include those for sure. Rasmus with 100 kroner. That's nice. That's a currency I don't see so often these days. Me and my sons love watching your videos. Watching with him right now. Shout out to Frederick. Hi Frederick, thank you so much for watching. All the way from Denmark. Oh, and then we have a new member, a CMEF Fashionable. Welcome to Master Builder. We have a new member on the channel. Memberships are now open. I'm hoping to provide people with quality content out of those memberships, so keep an eye out for that. For those who subscribe. And thank you so much for memberships, for super chats. It helps to minimize the $1,000 cost of these, or actually 1,000 euros. That's where I'm from, Portugal. I paid euros, 1,030 euros for express shipping. I don't know if you were here for the last live stream or if you've seen the updates on the both Instagram or the channel, you know. Getting to buy this or trying to buy this set wasn't the easiest of experiences. I'll just leave it at that. Leave your insight into LEGO and you give me an idea of what I want to buy next. No worries. Thank you so much for the support, man. No, it's not the mouse, it's the key. Lots of tiles here. I'm assuming this is like a surface where the walls will slide into each other. Kind of curious to see how the function of the trash compactor will work and will function, so to speak. But I'm sure Cesar did a great job with it. Shout out to Cesar, the model designer of this beast of a Lego set. You know, Portuguese people have lots to be proud of. We have Ronaldo, we have a Portuguese designer that designed the first $1,000 Lego set. Portuguese are awesome, you know. And if you didn't, now you do. See! No, express shipping for 30 euros, sorry. I might have misspoken that. So I order like with express shipping on October 1st, and according to the website I should have gotten the set in 2 days. And what I got in 2 days was actually the gifted purchase that I do have here today. Is it possible to see this? Yeah, so that gifted purchase, this one as well, the ghost, the light up ghost something from Creator. But I didn't get the Death Star. The Death Star only came Monday, which was interesting, which kind of delayed the whole process, you know. And then I started doing the live stream for the first day, and then I got insanely sick. So yeah, what's the name of them? A series of unfortunate events, right? There's a movie called like that. Another member, just break it. Oh man, I do a lot of that. I just break a lot of Lego sets whenever I need to get space to display new ones. It's crazy, man. Ruben Amorim, that's a good player. Oh, not player. Oh, the the manager is still in Manchester or what? Not for longer? Not for long? I don't know. He's not doing so well, right? Yeah, maybe not Ruben Amorim. But he did good in Sporting in Portugal. So, yeah. Things haven't been going so great for him, I guess. So, okay, we have this wall here, and then we'll slide it here in place. So let's switch cameras, I guess. So we have this here, sliding back and forth, and then I need to place some stoppers back here. I think that's the next on the building steps that I need to do. Good evening all. The Emperor is coming for a visit and he most displeased by your lack of progress. Oh man, I thought we made good progress for last stream, you know. But maybe not. Let's pick up the pace. Bag number 17. Either going to have the X-Mansion or the Arkham Asylum set to connect to the Daily Bugle. Okay. Daily Bugle? Ah, yes. Arkham Asylum. What are you doing, man? Roblox Money Man? Arkham Asylum and Daily Bugle? That's like completely different universes. What kind of crazy crossover is that? The X-Mansion would be okay, I guess. But Arkham Asylum? I'm not messing up the universes. No, Arkham Asylum is DC. Yes. Right? Right. Not wrong. You ever checked on out the fake Legos? No, I don't check on fake Legos because they're fake. There's a reason. Now we're building Leia. We have ourselves Prince. Oh, face cam. This one. Leia. Not a crazy outfit, I'll say. Some people questioning, and rightfully so, why Leia didn't have the dress piece. It would have looked nicer, but I'll get to discuss it in my review, I guess. Honey break. A tea with honey break. Rachel, love watching your videos. How do you hide the wires for your LED lights? I just keep them in the corner so you don't really get to see it in the camera. But they're over there, and they have like these what they're called, like some grappling hooks or something that you can just glue into the sides, to the even sides of the shelves. But yeah. Most of the wires will go over there on that corner, so that's why you don't see it on camera. the German castle, Neuschwanstein. That is a good one, you know. I'm usually never like super into the architecture sets, but then Lego usually sends me those for review, and I end up building them. And I end up becoming quite surprised because they're actually like fun builds. The scale is nice for most of the times. Like the other day I made a short for the Trevi Fountain. That one I wasn't that thrilled about, I'll be honest, because the scale is completely different from what I'm used to seeing out of the theme. But yeah, architecture sets usually like really impress me. And yes, last year's Notre Dame Cathedral was also really good. You would think that looking at it would be like a very boring build because there's lots of repetition, but surprisingly enough, it wasn't. It was actually kind of fun to build as well. So yeah, usually good value for your money. You know, you get lots of pieces out of it, even though it's like very small pieces at times, but even then they're usually great deals, and they make for really nice display pieces that don't take a lot of space. So yeah, you usually can't go wrong with architecture. I feel like the recipes would go a long way for Leia in this set. Yeah, I agree. I think there was a set before where both options were there, both the leg piece and the skirt. I'm not certain which set was that, but I have a faint idea that that was a thing in the past, so I'm assuming that that doesn't apply here, which is interesting. Let's say that. Notre Dame, Magic Castle, yes. Neuschwanstein, because I like the HP Castle, but I don't want to buy the HP Castle. Pyramid is also up there. Oh, the Alf Pyramid of Giza. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I loved it because I'm very into like Egyptian the Egyptian what history and civilization. That's what the word I was missing. I'm very much into the Egyptian civilization. So the Alf Pyramid of Giza was a cool one for personal reasons. But then again, it also falls under the weird scale kinda. It doesn't quite feel like your usual architecture type Lego set. But yeah, solid stuff all around. Probably an underrated Lego theme, right? What do you guys feel are like some underrated Lego themes? Would love to hear about that. What is written on the Lego pieces? What do you mean? Lego? Lego studs? I've seen people forgiving the pyramid for being Alpha Pyramid because it does show the interior around the back. Yeah. I think there were some people doing some really clever stuff, like putting a mirror. You know, you have like the pyramid and then putting a mirror in its back, so the reflection would actually show a full the reflection of the mirror would actually show a full pyramid. So that's a nice hack if you don't want to buy like two pyramids. I'm not even sure like if the pyramid is still available for purchase or not. Maybe it's retired already. But yeah, that was I'm pretty sure I saw somebody doing it, or at least mentioning it in the comment sections, where, you know, just use a mirror and you get yourself a full pyramid. This is the type of stuff that I love about the Lego community. Not the hateful comments and, you know, the toxicity, but, you know, these kinds of clever ideas That's what I'm here for, you know. Friends, yes, beautiful builds, but not very popular due to mini dolls. I tell you, if those Lego Friends sets had like minifigures, they would be like one of Lego's bestseller themes. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen the results, because usually for the Alfie results, Lego usually tells what are the top performing themes. I'm not sure Friends was there, but they usually speak really highly about Friends in general, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Friends, even though it has mini dolls. I wouldn't be surprised to see Friends up on the list, you know? Not at all. Their buildings, amazing. There's this bed and breakfast something or hotel or it kind of looks like a castle. I'm not sure if you all know the set I'm talking about. But it looks gorgeous. And then there was also the botanical garden. I think the success of the Friends Botanical Garden like paved the way for Lego Ideas to do their own botanical garden. So yeah, I agree. Lego Friends is a very underrated Lego theme. Jen not being a fan of sponsored reviews. Well, I think everyone is entitled to do whatever the hell they feel like with their content, right? If he feels like he shouldn't do sponsored reviews or not getting sets from Lego, I'm sure like Lan would love to have him if he wanted, but he makes a point of not accepting anything like that, and it's his choice. Who am I to say whatever, you know? What is your favorite Lego set or Lego minifigure? Like the Hazmat suit guy. And actually, like today, I shared about the Lego Party, the new Lego Party game. So if you go to my Instagram, be sure to comment on my latest post there, because I'm doing a giveaway for 2 codes of Lego Party for the Switch. And please don't go leaving the live stream to do it. Please do it afterwards. But yeah, go to my Instagram page, and there on the latest post, just drop a comment there, and I'm giving away 2 codes for Lego Party, which is this new game. And why was I saying this? Yeah, because on that game they do have the Hazmat guy as a playable character, which I absolutely love. He's my favorite. So yeah. So we have the creature here. What, I don't remember the name of the creature. What's the creature? What's the creature name that's like on the trash compactor? And this is an interesting thing because its eye pops up. Let's see. When you put those together, and I'm sure there will be some gears in the back because we have like the Technic rack pieces in here. So I guess that will come on the next bag. And I missed the piece here. The new Death Star is more unique than the classic Sphere Death Star sets, for sure. And I really never liked the playset one, because you can kind of say that it is a sphere, but at the same time it's not. It's just like rooms like these, and you kind of have the shape, but it's really not a sphere, and people love that one. I don't remember people like complaining about that one back in the day, and that looks less of a sphere than this one, I might even say. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know, bag 18. For European Switch players, yes, that's the very important thing about the giveaway is the codes that I have are only for European systems, Switch systems. So if you're from the US or Asia or whatever, maybe don't enter it, because if you were to use the code on your American Switch gaming console, for instance, it would not work. But if you're living in Europe, yeah, go ahead, go there, leave a comment, and then Sunday I'll try to figure out a way to pick 2 lucky winners. Favorite theme of all time is Model Team. Oh, yeah, I guess, you know, Icons is the new Model Team from back in the day, right? Excuse me. Oh, I had the face cam all along. So yeah, here's Luke on his Stormtrooper outfit. And no extra helmets, you know. There's been sets where they've had like the extra helmets, so Leia doesn't have the extra dress piece, and Luke don't have the extra Stormtrooper helmet, so yeah, that's a bit of a shame, I would say, right? And the F1 car collectible minifigure series. I think they're cool, they're cute. I think they're a good way to get people into Lego, or a fairly more affordable collectible. So yeah, I find them to be like really cute. Finally, the bags are paper. Yeah, they've been paper for a while now. At least I think in Europe they're rolling out the paper bags quicker than the US, for instance. At least that's the feedback I'm hearing, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I've had them for a while. Lots coming from, you know, Bilan directly from the review offers that I get, but also, you know, this one, you know, I bought this from the Lego store here in Portugal, and they do have the paper bags. So now I need to pay close attention so that I don't mess up the function. So I need to keep this open. Switch camera back. Camera's all right now, right? Is it not? Yeah, I think it is. Before anyone complains about this set, remember that there's at least 1% chance that Galidor can come back. I hope not. Galidor? Oh man, imagine that. That would be Lego's way of saying, oh, let's try to go bankrupt for real this time around. So let's bring back Galidor. And yeah, let's bury ourselves under. Although there's been like some Ninjago sets or Monkey Kid sets that reference Galidor, right, in some stickers. I do have maybe it was like Monkey Kid sets, right? I think those have like Galidor references. Maybe not. I don't remember. This undecided whether to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's $500. For that price I would buy Rivendell, which I did. I don't know if there's like games that I would really love to play on the Switch 2. The new Mario Kart looks way too crazy for my taste. You're not even driving on the tracks anymore. You're just like jumping rails the entirety of the track. So that would probably be one of my main drivers for me to get a Switch console to play Mario Kart. But I think like Mario Kart 8 is still great for me. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Diangoa is Monster in Trash Compartment. Diangoa? Okay. I used to mention a lot of the themes in the bigger cities set series. Yeah, the Ninjago city sets. Yeah, yeah, they usually have like lots of little references and Easter eggs. But I'm not sure. I think there was this big Ninjago city like set, but for the Monkey Kid theme that I think had a Galidor reference. But maybe I'm being way too persistent with this. I don't have the time to check it out, but I believe there's something like that. Any tips to get Lego sets for cheap? Maybe Marketplace, waiting for discounts. Amazon usually has sales very often. And then if you live in the US, you'll be like I feel that like US has sales everywhere and all year long with Walmart and Target and these retailers. I don't know. I see always these all videos on YouTube where people go there and Costco. Costco is one that usually has like sets for huge discounts. I hear. At least people keep telling me on the comment sections about finding like huge deals on Costco. So maybe Costco is the place to go if you're in the US. In Portugal, there's a weekend where you can get toys at 50% off in major retailers like Continente and Pingo Doce. So yeah, there's a weekend where toys will be 50% off, and I've been to those weekends before myself, and yeah, 50% off. It's huge, and it's for all toys, and of course there will be Lego there. Lego designer confirmed a specific reference to the toy line Galidor in the Lego Monkey Kid set, Monkey Kid Staff Creations. There you go. Obviously, I haven't finished building the set yet, so you may not want to answer, but what design choices would you personally have done differently if you were given the opportunity for this set? I would never touch a set this big. I struggled really hard when I was designing the gingerbread house, which was like one of my biggest. Actually, my biggest was like a classic set. By a few pieces, but then second to that was the gingerbread house, and it was really challenging. So I can't imagine like having to design a set that has 6 times the piece count. No way in hell, man. But I guess that's why Cesar is a design master now, which is an amazing title to have. You have like there's model designer, below model designer there's another one which I don't remember which one was it, because I started when working for Lego, I started from standard model designer, and then there's senior designer, and now there's design master, and I've heard that there's a senior design master role now even, and I heard that Mike Psyche is one of them. Rightfully so. Oh man, I need some tea. I wouldn't touch a set this big for sure. Lego tips on how to store Lego manuals: just recycle them. I just keep them in boxes, and I don't keep all of them. Maybe I'll keep like the ones for 18 plus stuff, like icons and ideas and stuff like that. But for playsets, for most playsets, I think I just throw them in the into the recycling bins, because when you collect Lego for a while, it gets to be too much on paper that does nothing for you. So it can, I guess it kind of depends on the size of your collection. Excuse me. Thoughts on how if LEGO will add Mario-like playability to their upcoming Pokemon line? No, I have not seen Pokemon sets. I have seen nothing from it, even on fan media days, and even if I saw, I couldn't tell you, of course, but I haven't seen anything so far out of Pokemon. But I do believe, like, you know, it has been working well for LEGO and for Nintendo. Surprisingly enough, Super Mario, maybe not as much, but like in the beginning years when Super Mario launched, they were very popular, and that surprised me. So it wouldn't be surprising to see the upcoming Pokemon theme going that way. But hopefully there will also be 18 plus Lego sets, so I have high hopes for those at least. And the play sets for kids, you know, will be play sets in some shape or form, but maybe there's some sort of playable scenario with them, like Mario. So that will be interesting to see. Will there be a LEGO VR? Virtual reality? There was like Hidden Side, right? That kind of flopped, and video as well. And that also flopped. So I think LEGO is done with VR. Okay, and without even noticing, the function is done. So that's kind of cool. Of course, there's all the gears in the back, and you turn this. And then the creature, I don't remember the name, and I know that somebody mentioned it in the comment section. And then the creature's eye pops up, which is cool. And there's plenty of studs in the base for you to display the minifigures. There, I can kind of see in the instructions where they're actually showing that. So there's room for the figures to be there. So that's cool. So yeah, I just opened bag 19, but maybe I was too quick to do that because I actually need to place this down. And where exactly? Okay. Okay. Done. We've added the trash compactor to our Death Star. How exciting. Our first proper room, I guess, in there. So this is bag 19. Oh, bag 19, the controversial bag where we have the non-dual molded leg C3PO. Sykes! People are raging about that. And I believe this is one of those instances where the special codes that I was talking about earlier with where the Tips and Bricks blog talked about it in their interview to the designers of this set. I believe like the dual molded C3PO was one of those instances where the element is still being produced, because there's sets where he is still being used, like the buildable C3PO. There's also the keychains, but the keychains don't matter as much for this equation, I would say. But yeah, I do believe that C3PO not having dual molded legs in this set was one of such cases where the element exists, is still in production, but it has a retirement date as an element, and which means that upcoming Lego sets that are designed and would like to have it can't. And if you really want to have it, then you need to spend extra frames in order to bring it back. So, and here is, you could agree or disagree with the designer's choices in not bringing the element back. But they favored like not doing that and adding more frames to design newer characters. And honestly, I think it's a valid decision. I think it's a valid decision, going for newness instead of just doing everything that has been done before. And I know this is a bit of an odd take, but yeah, it comes down to the restrictions that designers need to work with. And I'm pretty sure like C3PO must have been one of such cases. And even like, yeah, I have the minifigures from Java Silbarge here. And yeah, this C3PO didn't have dual molded legs either. So yeah. There you have it. But maybe there was something else about it. I remember from the interviews that there was something else about it as well. But since I don't remember it well, then let's just leave it at that. Any estimate how long it will take to finish the build? I don't know, maybe. Because I'm live streaming and talking at the same time, while building, this will take longer than it would normally would. If I were to build this by myself without live streaming and talking and these distractions, I would probably do it in like 7 hours, 8 hours. While live streaming it will take longer, perhaps 8 to 9 hours, maybe a little bit more. Last time we did like one of the 6 books in 2 hours and 20 minutes or so, so I think that was a good pace, honestly. But if I am to live stream the entire build, then probably 8 to 9 hours. What time is it, by the way? Oh, very good. Feeling good so far, even though my voice is cracking a little bit. But so far so good. About the dual molded officers, but C3PO is kind of weird with that print. Yeah, agreed. Printed arms though, but it's kind of weird. I'll give you that. Then people will be, saying things like, well, just take one of those prints for the stormtroopers that nobody asked for, just remove one of those and have like dual molded legs instead. You couldn't do like a straight swap like that because the cost isn't the same. The cost of a face print would still be there because the minifigure would still need to have a printed face, just not a new one. So yeah, the frames could have been saved there, but cost-wise, like a dual molded leg is not the same price as a minifigure head. It's just not, So that's where also the designer, the model designer, not the graphic designer, also has to to balance a lot of things, because and he did incredible because he did put like 38 minifigures in this set, and minifigures are pricey. I think if like the minifigure count was half than that, maybe he could have gotten closer to 10,000 pieces for sure. But having to take into account like minifigure costs into the design process, it's again one of the reasons why I would not want to design such a big Lego set as this. If I was still working for Lego, somebody was asking me before, I wouldn't touch a set this big. It's way too challenging. Happy building, thanks BrickBuds. What's the future of 3D printed parts? Man, as much as I love like 3D printing as a hobbyist myself of 3D printing, like the 3D printing pieces don't look like Lego at all. Like, and I'm pretty sure like he's talking about the train piece that came into the with the Winter Village Holiday Express thingy, whatever the name is. I think I have it here. You're in luck. You're in luck. And see, this is why I can't advance the the build as quickly as I should. So yeah, Winter Village Holiday Express train set. I'm not sure if that's the name, and let's call it that. And it came with this like 3D printed piece. It's probably really hard. Oh, the camera is not so bad. You know, came with this like the blue is like the 3D printed piece, and then there's like regular Lego pieces attached to it, like here in the front, and then the roof piece. But all of this is 3D printed. And don't get me wrong, the piece looks impressive, and it also has like the function. Can you see it? Yeah, this turn, and then the smokestack goes up and down. But the piece itself, wow, the laptop camera is really good. It has this like rugged texture to it. It doesn't look like Lego at all. You know, there's no studs, no nothing, just clip connections. It doesn't look like Lego. And when I heard, because you know I have some 3D printers, I've done some like sponsored videos with 3D printers. I love them. I love the technology. I have a lot of fun doing projects with those. But the technology is relatively accessible, and printers are relatively cheap. So I was like, okay, they did a 3D printed piece so that they can like get the cost of production down. But as it turns out, this type of 3D printing technology is called SLS or something like that, which requires like printers that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, not like the cheap $1,000 at most printers that I have behind the camera. And when I heard that, I was like, then what's the point? If it's not making things cheaper and it's just like a cool gimmick in a way, then I don't see the point. So I think Lego will keep doing the 3D printed pieces, but I don't really like them, especially if they make it so that the cost of Lego sets goes even higher. You know, Winter Village sets usually be priced at $100. And the Holiday Express train was priced at $130. Was it because of the 3D printed train? Perhaps. There was also the train tracks. There was also a slightly higher piece count than the previous Winter Village train set had. So maybe I was a bit unfair in the review there. So the piece count was a bit higher in this one. But even then, you know, I don't know. I think Winter Village fans this year might have been a bit let down with the pricing, because it was that sweet spot, $100. It has been like that for like, I don't know, the past 10 years or something, and then, you know, that's a big step up from 100 to 130. And if the reason for that is the 3D printed piece, then I would have favored not having the 3D printed piece at all. And yeah, I just placed switch the camera right, and I just placed the lift inside there, and yeah, bag number 20. $200 people. as everybody liked the stream. Thumbs up, people. And I was right, very surprised about the amount of views that the last live stream got. You know, maybe the set is iconic enough to get that sort of views, but like 25,000 views, you know. Of course, most of those were afterwards, not the ones I got from the actual day of live streaming, but even then, you know, 25,000 views for a live stream, it's not too bad. Kinda makes me want to consider doing more live streams going forward, just not for this particular set. So that is cool. Oh, Mr. Just Break It sent one Tiago Catarino gift membership. So there's this, yeah, so people like can gift memberships now like they do on Twitch. Is that the thing? Nice. Cool. Thank you. So somebody got a free membership. That's kind of nice. What's up? What's up, Novatide? We have R2 now being built. This one hasn't lost any print, thankfully enough. But I must have like 10 of these by now. So, you know, regular R2D2 and then the back printing as well. I think the first time that it actually was done like this was it the trash compactor set? Does the trash compactor set as a R2D2? I have a bunch of these now, so there you go. Very far from common Lego bricks. Maybe the extra functions could replace chunky Technic mechanisms. For sure, like they could only do that function because it was a 3D printed piece, but still. And that was the same with some of the other 3D printed pieces that they've done for Lego sets in the past. They did the duck for a special thing on Lego House. I'm still salty about a guy that said that would get it for me. He did get it, but then never sent it to me. I would have paid, of course, for it, but he never did. So yeah, there's that. I could have had like the 3D printed duck, which I don't have. And then there was like an Insider's Tour set that also got the duck, but in green, which also has like a function where you slide it in the table, then the beak opens like the original wooden duck from Lego. That's what that element is based off of. And then there was like a jumping minifigure something piece. And there was another, like a drawing board something for another Lego Inside Tour set. So there's been a few, but this is setting a new way forward, you know, because this train was the first 3D printed piece that Lego did on a widely available retail product. So yeah. It's nice, don't get me wrong, it's nice. It just doesn't feel Lego, like Bionicle, you know? Bionicle is fake Lego. And if CPA AFOL is over there, you'll know all about that. I'll have some words to say about that, but you know, Galidor, you know, there's just some things that are Lego, they have the logos in there, but they don't feel Lego, at least to me. And even Technic, sometimes I have like a really hard time, like, you know, I just don't like the system at all. I do like to build the occasional Lego Technic set once a year, but that's perfectly fine for me. It's like, it's way too painful to put together, to take apart. I'm not a fan. Except when it's done in a simple way where you can, like, you know, get like simple functions such as this working. So yeah. And we have a new member, James Afrani, Master Builder. There you go. Yeah, for memberships we also have like builder, senior builder, and master builder tiers. Thank you so much for the support. Master builders will get to see early reviews, not embargoed stuff. I would never show embargoed stuff prior to the embargo, so don't go hoping for that, but you know, non-embargoed stuff, that's the perk the master builders get. Talking about 3D printed pieces, what happened? Don't be mean to Bionicle. I was telling this the other live stream, you know. As a kid, I drooled over catalogs, like looking at the Bionicle stuff. I wished I had Bionicle back in the day, but I never did. And you know, coming back out of the dark ages, I asked my mom to gift me a Lego set for my birthday. And I was in college by then, and what she did give me was a Bionicle set. Even though I wanted like regular Lego, you know, minifigures stuff. But she gave me Bionicle because it was like the biggest age marking that she could find on this store. So I don't blame her for that. But yeah, it's weird. The deck, the pogo stick, the drafting machine arm, and the blue train now. Yeah, so all of the 3D printed pieces Lego has done so far. I had the 2005 Inside Tour Lego automobile set. Unfortunately, the original burned CD with the instruction is unreadable. Oh, that's unfortunate. So you did the Inside Tour back in 2005? That's cool. The last Technic set I built was the Porsche, and that was years ago. Too painful, right? And taking that apart, that's the worst. And I know that I have to take apart Lego sets sooner or later, that it will happen. So yeah, having to take like Technic sets apart is the worst. And you almost need like, these days, Lego Technic sets are done so intricate. I don't know the word. They're so well designed, they're so like rock solid, like that you actually need the building instructions to take them apart, you know? It's really hard. Because if I were to take like a regular Lego set apart, I would just like start pushing stuff around and break it into smaller pieces. You can't do that with Technic. You can't do it. You have to look at it and try to figure out, okay, in order for me to take this beam, I need to take this pin and this pin and this pin and this cross axle, and then I need to turn it around a couple times, and then I'm still not ready to take that beam apart. That's the usual experience with taking apart Lego Technic sets. I hate it. So yeah, it's definitely not for me. Nothing against people who like it. I think it's an amazing system. It allows for crazy functions, and lots of, you know, system sets have crazy functions due to Technic pieces. So, but it's just not for me. Delusional Brick. Actual Bionicle is an extension of Technic, some like blend Lego Technic with something not Lego. Yeah, kind of like that. I think like the early Bionicle sets were actually themed Lego Technic, right? I may be mistaken here. How similar is this trash compactor comparing to the standalone one build-wise? I have no idea. I actually never built that one in the past. But I would say they would be similar, you know, since they're based off of the same scene. It's really hard to stay away from the source material or try to design a different thing out of the same source material when the source material hasn't changed. So I would assume it hasn't changed much, but since I haven't built that one, I don't really know for sure. My latest crazy technique was the large blue Bugatti. Yeah. that was the Bugatti Chiron. That was the one that made me hate Technic for life. I had to take that apart, and that's like 2,000 or 3,000 pieces, something. I got that one as a gift in Lego when I was working there. Then I had to take it apart to bring it to Portugal. Maybe I could have left it in one piece. Maybe that would have been smarter back then. But yeah, I decided to take it apart, and it was the worst decision, the worst decision of my life. And that's the day I decided that Lego Technic wasn't for me. And not day, actually 2 or 3 days, because it literally took me like 2 or 3 days to take that thing apart. And after those 2 or 3 days, my fingers were sore for a week. The typewriter, but I think it displays well. I love the typewriter, you know. Yes, there was parts, still here, it's here. There were parts of the build that were tedious, I'll give you that, but the way the function comes together, my lord, I was completely blown away. And the face I did on that thumbnail is not an exaggeration at all. I found it to be like one of the craziest builds I did back then. And the function, that's how scared I feel about, you know, sometimes I think to myself, if I were to go back to Lego, in what theme would I want to work? And for me, the safe answer would be like maybe 18 plus, you know, but then seeing the crazy stuff that they come up for with icons and with ideas, the level of details on the builds and the types of stuff that designers do these days when compared to 10 years ago is insane. And I might have done, yes, I'm missing a piece. It is insane. So thinking of like going back, which I'm not going back to Lego, but thinking about that, I feel like really scared, like feeling that my level wouldn't be enough these days to get a job, because the designer's skill levels has gone up so much in the past few years. If you go to the Lego store with like $500, would you buy 5 $100 sets or one big set? For $500, I know exactly the set that I would get. Rivendell. Back there. Like, no questions asked. It is one of the best Lego sets ever made. But if I still wanted to experience like crazy building techniques and save some money... Oh, I need to do this on 2 sides. Then I could buy like the radio, the Game Boy. That's back here. What else would I buy? Maybe the cat? Yeah, cat, radio, Game Boy. And yeah, I would keep the rest. And buy my kids something, go out, treat your wife with something, or girlfriend if you have one. But yeah, but if I have to spend it all, then Rivendell for sure. Why did I leave Lego back then? My family wasn't happy in Denmark. And we had 2 kids, no family support around, so we figured the best would be to come back to Portugal. And yeah, and that's how I became a YouTuber. So didn't work so bad. Okay, so this goes here. Is that it? Yes. And then, yes, and then we lock everything. The way that we build some sections and then just put them in and then lock them together really nicely looks like it will be a fun time. Yeah, so that's locked in, some sort of, you know, corridor for you to go from the trash compactor to the hangar, the main hangar. I think that's what's called, right? Rivendell's retirement has been pushed to December 2017. 2027 actually. Agreed? It should never leave shelf. It is one of the best Lego sets ever made. And then Titanic, and then the Game Boy. Do I have any signed Lego sets? I could sign some of my own. And I do have like some, one thing that I like to do, it's like it's easier to carry building instructions with me, so I have a bunch of Lego instructions actually signed by the designers. Back when Lego designers used to be featured in Lego sets. Nowadays, you don't see like Lego designers being featured anymore. And, you know, I might have had something to do with that. I'll just leave it at that. Whoops. But no, as far as like signed Lego sets, I don't think I have any. I don't think I do. Yeah, Lego sets are getting crazy. I agree. They're so big. That's why I like to do the best Lego sets of the year, and I make a point of like so the best Lego sets of the year video that I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years. I always like to do that video because it kind of helps me to look back at the year and see what's been done. And more often than not, I see myself liking the smaller and more affordable Lego sets more than I do the big ones. Of course, there's outliers like, you know, Rivendell or Leonite's Castle. But for the most part, you know, my favorite Lego set from last year was the Retro Radio because of the building experience, which is something that I personally value a lot. And, you know, the pricing also plays into that. So yeah, I hear you, but more and more I feel drawn to these smaller, more affordable sets, which is kind of funny to be saying when I'm building a $1,000 Lego set. The irony. Paval, hello. I'd prefer Leonite's Castle over Rivendell, but I do agree Rivendell is beautiful. Nicholas, I'm assuming that you are a castle fan, right? I believe that's the only reason why would anyone favor the Leonite's Castle over Rivendell. But though both are amazing sets. Mike Psyche worked on both, so there you have it. Senior design master, Mike Psyche. Will you ever take Rivendell apart to build it again? I would love to, but it would take so much time that I will probably not do that. But if I'm way too bored in the foreseeable future, I might just take the Game Boy apart and build it again, because it was insane. Cucas. Hi, Tiago, just came in now. How's your flu? Do you feel better? Huh? Good enough to be live streaming, but I'm not at 100%. That's for sure. Maybe I should be resting right now, but I do need to move forward with this build. So, yeah. Good enough. Thank you for asking. Markus Kosman. Who's that designer? I don't know who that is. I'm terrible with names. Good with faces, but terrible with names. Sometimes I'll go back to Billund and meet with some people, and I recognize them. I just don't remember their name, and then it's one of those awkward situations that, hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. And yeah, it happened a few times during Fan Media Days actually this year. So yeah. You're going to miss Rivendell. Why? Buy it. Sell some of your sealed collection and buy Rivendell. It's worth it. You know? I used to do that back in the day. Whenever I wanted a new Lego set, when I was a broke college student, I would like sell my Lego to buy a new one. If you really want it. Have I ever visited France? Yes, I have. Many years ago. Mike Syke is true senior master designer. Yes, he is. He did the Ornithopter as well, which admittedly is not one of my favorite designs of his, but the functions are out of this world. Sure you don't know Marcus is a technic designer. Oh, that must be the reason. If he's been there for a couple years, maybe he's like a big guy with a ponytail. If that's the Marcus that I'm thinking of, maybe I know him. Not sure if ponytail still, but I think he had like long hair. If I'm remembering this person right. Do you think that when building Lego sets on stream takes away from the feeling? Not at all. It makes me go slower. If I were on my own, sometimes I was having this conversation with Pedro earlier actually, where, you know, when you build so much and sometimes you have to rush to get to the embargoes set forth by the Lego Ambassador Network. Of course, I don't need to stick by them, but you know, YouTube is a harsh place and being first matters a lot. So I try to respect the embargoes and try to come up with the videos by then. And that means like sometimes building things like in a very stressful rhythm, super fast, and not enjoying the sets at all. So the live stream actually makes me go a little bit slower, so I do get to enjoy it a little bit better. Too many Marcus in Billund, that's for sure. Does the T-Rex skeleton feel like a repetitive build, or does it feel more interesting than repetitive? For me personally, but I'm biased because I love the Jurassic Park so much and dinos in general. I I thought it was an interesting build, and I really enjoyed it. And you know, getting to see how big the thing is going to be is insane. So this thing is going to be even wider. So right now I just attached this section here. So yeah, you guys have no idea how big this is. In the end, it's like, it's massive. So big rooms here now. But yeah, the T-Rex, I found it interesting, but then again, I'm biased because I like dinosaurs too much. And this is actually one of my favorite sets that I got to build this year. But if you're not that into dinosaurs in general or Jurassic Park, I think it will be boring for you. For sure. How's it going? Going good, thank you. The Game Boy is one of the best sets in some time. Also fun to explain that ancient artifact to my son. Yeah, for sure. Kids these days have no idea what some of the things that we dealt with like many years ago are, which is kind of funny. I've seen some videos where like they put some kids in a room and then they place them like in front of like, I don't know, an old computer, and they just tell the kids, please turn the computer on or something. And it was one of those old style things where you had to like write a command line to get the computers to go to Windows or whatever. So some of those videos are really funny to watch, to see how kids struggle with the technology of us ancient dinosaurs. Would you consider gather a few lucky fans one day and take them to a tour in your studio? No, man, sorry. I like to keep things private. So people don't need to know where I am. Wonder when are you going to publish the review for this video? It'll take a long while, that's for sure. We're making progress, we're working towards that. But it'll be so out of time, you know. Will it even make sense to do a review at all? You know, like YouTube is a seriously competitive space, you know. Reviews of the Death Star have been out for weeks now from some of my fellow colleagues on LEGO Ambassador Network, so... But I think I'll still do it, you know. I did pay 1,000 euros for it, so might as well just try to get the most out of it. But yeah, this is one of the cool Easter eggs of this set, where a bunch of colored plates are on the floor, which are a reference to LEGO video games, where characters will be, you know, walking around the levels collecting plates for points or something. So yeah, nice little Easter egg over there. And I'm very much looking forward to get to the Jacuzzi Stormtrooper, or whatever he's called. That's also a cool reference to the... what was it? Like the Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga. It's a character featured there, right? If I'm not mistaken. Dual molded leg minifigure. You know, that's some of the decisions like the designers are faced with. So, do we go for like a dual molded leg, a Bathtooth Trooper, or do we bring back C3PO dual molded leg minifigure that we've done in the past? You know, what's better? What will fans appreciate more? And you can kind of tell that fans appreciate more the Jacuzzi Stormtrooper, judging by the listings that I've seen on eBay. Crazy prices going for that minifigure for like, you know, hundreds of dollars. So, you know, when you see stuff like that, I can kind of see why some choices are made, and I kind of agree with them, you know. And I know this is a hot topic, and people feel like the C3PO is lackluster in a $1,000 Lego set, but you know, would you have preferred to have dual molded leg C3PO and not have the Jacuzzi Stormtrooper? That's what I ask you. Let me know. Hot Tub Stormtrooper. Bikini Leia in the hot tub. Yeah, there's a minifigure we haven't seen in a while. How things have changed. Afternoon time in Southern California. Well, to here is like 11:18 p.m. Almost midnight. Do you prefer Jurassic Park over Star Wars any day of the week? Yes, for sure. Although I do have to admit, the last movie, the last Jurassic movie was so bad. Oh man. So bad. I haven't felt this in a while about a dinosaur movie. There's nothing like the first one, I guess. But the last one was so bad. Oh man. Black Widow couldn't save it, even if she wanted. DCS Millennium Falcon. It's an interesting build. It's one of those sets that I enjoyed solely for the fact that, you know, you start seeing this massive thing taking shape, and then you're like, I wonder how big this will go. I wonder how much bigger this thing will be in the end. So that for me was the experience that I had while building the UCS Millennium Falcon. And it's a cool build, impressive build, but excuse me, one that I don't keep around anymore. Some people might be aware of what I've done with mine. But it's incredibly hard to display. Where are you going to display that thing? It's impossible. Unless you buy new furniture for it. No can do. No, I'm not awake and it's not 1 a.m. in here. I'm in Portugal. So this is like 11:20. What would your wish list be for UCS Falcon Remake? I don't know. I don't care that much about Star Wars, to be honest. Yeah. They've done too much, too fast, over a short period of time. The movies, all the shows, and then, you know, it's really hard to keep up with all of it. And then there's that side of the Lego community, the Lego Star Wars fandom, which can be way too vocal about their discontent about the state of Lego Star Wars. And I used to receive like review offers from the Lego Ambassador Network for Lego Star Wars sets, but embargoes were changing so much. This was so stressful, so over time I just felt not as inclined of a Star Wars fan as I was before. If there's like a new trilogy of movies coming out in the future, right? With Rey coming back or something. I think I've heard about that. So I'll watch the new movies. But even the shows, you know, like Andor, I've heard that's like one of the best Star Wars shows ever done, but I just don't feel like watching it. Mandalorian was good. I did watch the 2 seasons. But yeah, I don't know. And the sad part about it is that what drove me away from Star Wars was Lego. Was Lego Star Wars. Not the media in itself, not the source material, but Lego Star Wars. And the community surrounding it. So, yeah. I like to live a stress-free life. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of the spotlight of negativity. And staying away from Star Wars is my way to do it. Which is funny, because I'm building the $1,000 Lego Death Star. Sometimes I don't make sense at all. I wish that the inevitable next UCS Falcon would be a bit smaller, maybe around 5,000 pieces, big but easier to display. Man, I guess you're probably right. Somewhere down the line, Star Wars will do another Millennium Falcon, but man, I don't know what could they do different with it at this point in time. Maybe the first $2,000 Lego set. That would be fitting, I guess. Pinboy, £10, thank you for the super chat. It's late here as I'm on holiday in Cyprus. Lucky you, but the wine is helping. Oh man. Keep up the good work. Love from an Ethel from Blightly. Blighty. That's a place in the UK, right? Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, printed pieces. So, well, I've had some panels, control panels, the usual stuff, but these are some of the printed tiles or printed pieces that the set has. There's like 4 of these. This is like, you know, the Star Wars style windows that go in this corner here. And this is a way that designers can justify having printed elements when they do a lot of them in one set. Like one-offs, it's really hard to to justify, because if you're doing like a printed piece but it's only being used on one Lego set, it's really hard to justify doing it from a business perspective. Whereas if you have like a tile such as this one that you will be using a lot on a Lego set, then it's easier to do. The cost is also diluted over the whatever amount of prints that you need to do and produce. So yeah, that's why we have like this huge sticker sheet with tons of one-offs. Oh, it's slang for Britain? Oh, sorry. Not very well versed in Britain's locations or slang. I'm not a native speaker, guys, so bear with me. My tea is getting cold. But I love myself some tea. Who doesn't love some tea? If you know what I mean. What's the tea? Does anybody have some tea to share? That's what I love about Brickworld, you know, getting to be with my friends and hear all of the gossip. I love that. That part of the Lego community I love. Your English is excellent, Thiago. Thank you so much. I have some of the kindest subscribers who like all my live streams, right? What's the count like for this live stream so far? Let me know. Because last time, I think it was, I was looking at the analytics of the live stream and I was really impressed with what we managed to achieve. And at some point in time there were like almost 500 people watching simultaneously. Excuse me. I had never seen that on the channel, so that's stuff like that that makes me want to consider, you know, live streaming every now and then. And not just for special occasions such as the big boy here. But yeah, I could consider doing more live streams if that's something you'd be inclined to see. 225 likes, man. And how many people are watching? That doesn't make sense, right? 206 people watching. If everyone watching likes the stream now, I'm pretty sure that we'll get to 300. Not that it matters much, but you know, a person likes to see numbers going up. As a YouTuber specifically, I do like numbers going up. I'm doing a bad job if numbers don't go up. And I have a family to feed, so I need to be mindful of the numbers. I just got the Eiffel Tower and I'm just starting to build it. Oh, Nicholas. Oh, Nicholas. My friend. I wish you the best of luck. There are 2 sets, apart from Lego Technic, of course. There are 2 system sets that I would never put my hands on. One is the Colosseum and the other is the Eiffel Tower. And the reason for that is, for people who know me and my tastes in Lego, repetition is something that I completely hate. So I could not put myself through the pain of building the Eiffel Tower. It looks so tedious to build. It looked so boring with so many repetitive things that you will be doing hundreds of times. So, good luck, Nicholas. I'm pretty sure that if I do more live streams with the Death Star, I would love to have an update from you to see how are you liking the build. And yay! I know people who liked the Eiffel Tower a lot, and it's one of their favorite Lego sets. Nothing against them, you know, but you cannot possibly tell me that that one was fun to build. You cannot convince me of that one in particular. I will never touch either that one or the Colosseum. Colosseum, I don't know how do you say that. Yeah, both look great, but build is tedious, right? I thought you would say the Manchester United Stadium. Yeah, that wasn't fun either, but you know, it's still not 9,000 piece Colosseum levels of boredom, or you know, 10,000 piece Eiffel Tower levels of repetitiveness. So yeah, but that wasn't fun either. Back when I was still live streaming, yeah, I used to live stream. I think I live streamed the stadiums, the Manchester Stadium, was it? I think so. This thing here is also from the games, right? Because I'm not sure if this is like an actual like Lego, not Lego Star Wars, but like Star Wars lore object, or if this is like a reference to the games. But this kind of feels like a game thing, right? So if that's the case, then we have ourselves another Easter egg in here. I'm sure people will be able to inform me. The Taj Mahal. Oh, yeah, then the Taj Mahal. That's probably the third worst Lego set to build ever. Man, Taj Mahal. Ooh. Lego Octane Energy Pack. So it's a game thing, right? Camille always bases their purchases on my recommendations. Just got Alpine Lodge. No, that's a fairly priced Winter Village set. Not... Well, it's not that the Holiday Express chain... No, it's not fairly priced. No, I was about to defend it, but it's not fairly priced. It's like 900 pieces, and I know there's like the train tracks in there, but you know, when $130, when people were hoping for a $100 set, and they've been used to $100 Lego sets for Winter Village, was a heavy blow to defend them. Hey, the super chat. One retired theme that you wish could come back. Adventurers. I've told like the last live stream, I would love Adventurers to come back, and if they did it like as an 18 plus, you know, like they did the Lionites Castle or the, what was it, the El Dorado Fortress, was it? So every now and then they do these revival sets for classic themes. I would love for them to make like a big Adventurers, some kind of temple, or the Sphinx with secrets and booby traps, adventure themed with Johnny Thunder. That would be amazing. Gingerbread House is still the best Lego set in the Wither Village line. There you go. I'm not sure if like people say that because they want to be nice to me or if they genuinely feel like that, but that's something that I hear a lot of people say, so there must be some truth in that. So thank you for the kind words. It was a really fun project to work. So, and actually that landed on my lap, kinda, because when I was working for Lego, I was always in Creator 3-in-1, so that was my main team. And back then, I was working on this helicopter, 3-in-1 helicopter. But while I was working on that helicopter, my second child was born, so I went on paternity leave for a few weeks, and when I came back, they told me that I was no longer working on that helicopter, which made me a bit sad. But on the flip side, they did give me, or they did ask me if I wanted to work on the gingerbread house instead. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a fair trade. Excuse me. That's a fair trade, I guess. So yeah, that's how I ended up designing the gingerbread house. And we have another of the lift doors done. Oops. And I guess this section is about to be placed on the Death Star. Where is this? Up there. Okay. Cool. So this goes here. Nope. Might as well just show you, right? So I guess I'll line this up by the lift mechanism. So I need to push stuff down. Good progress. This thing is like growing. Yeah. Bag number 25. More proper strange things that would be amazing to celebrate the last season. Yeah. I never really liked that Lego did Stranger Things back then. Now looking back and, excuse me, seeing all of the IPs that Lego has worked in the past, I guess, it's okay. But back then I was like, Stranger Things? This is like the most brutal thing ever. Why would you want to make a Lego set out of this? Like, no kids watch Stranger Things. Imagine kids watching Stranger Things because they saw the Lego set. They would be terrified. So yeah, not the most popular opinion. But yeah, I was like, I always felt Lego shouldn't have done Stranger Things. But they did. So we're kind of building the window towards the universe. Window, or what is this, like bay hangar door or something? I'm sure there's an official name for that. Home Alone Lego set. I think it's cool. Again, one of those that I liked because I may be biased because I watched Home Alone a lot as a kid. So I for sure have feelings of nostalgia towards the Home Alone set. And the Home Alone set is cool because it also has like all of the booby traps in there where the kid tries to stop the burglars. So yeah, that's a good one. And a cool one for that advent calendar type deal where it's like 24 numbered bags, I feel, 24, 25. So it's one of those Lego sets that you could build a bag every day in December, which is cool and something that Lego doesn't do nearly enough of, I feel. I think Lego should do more of those advent calendar type builds, like big Lego sets with 24 numbered bags. I think that would be an interesting way to I'm losing my voice. I think that would be an interesting way to sell some Lego sets, especially in the holiday season, especially for the holiday season, or in preparation of the holiday season. I guess that would mean that people would have to get gifts early to be able to build their new Lego sets towards Christmas, but yeah, it's a cool concept. Miscellaneous sticker to prove this is live? Nah. I would never do it. Pretty good with my sticker alignment, I feel. The first step is 4 times of the first part of the build. You mean like this whole section here? Okay, let's see. Back to the Future Time Machine, amazing set. The DeLorean, right? Again, nostalgia. I'm an 80s kid, born in the 80s, saw lots of those 80s and 90s movies, the good ones. So yeah, Back to the Future is a very nostalgic movie for me, and so is the DeLorean. My god, that thing is amazing. Who wouldn't like to have a DeLorean, right? So I really like the Lego set. There were some parts that could have been improved in my eyes, that weren't perfect, but for the most part, that Lego set is amazing. And the fact that you can actually build all 3 versions of the car from all of the movies, and then the fact that the wheels do turn, right? I remember this correctly, where they have a function that turns the wheels. That function was amazing. Arkham did the advent calendar as well. Cool. There you go. So Arkham Asylum is a advent calendar type Lego set. And I think the big Christmas tree as well. It's over there. The big $300 Christmas tree, I think it's also like that, where you have like 24 numbered bags. So this feels similar to this angled section that we built here. So this is probably the one that goes on the other side, I'm assuming. Lego Adventures was my favorite as a kid. I'm also hoping it will come back. Yeah, we got a lobby towards that. There's a missing plate here. Easier if you make to print a scan of stickers onto the pieces. Yeah, but then it won't be original anymore, you know. I'm sure there's people who do that. you know, the custom prints, and then put them in Lego sets, but then they don't become like original Lego sets. It's like the 3D printed pieces all over again. Discussion. Are they really Lego? Because they don't look like Lego. And I think we will be seeing a lot more of that in the future. I think the Holiday Train was like the test run for it, and then we will probably see more of that in the future. Going Merry deep dive ready. Let's go. Pedro has been helping me out with some deep dives of the One Piece Lego sets. You can check those out on Instagram. Really cool if you want to know about all of the Easter eggs of the Lego sets, of the One Piece Lego sets that have more than one piece, which is a very misleading thing to be doing with Lego sets. Badunch. Anyone who's made it this far without leaving, give yourself a pat in the back. That's me, right? I'm the only one. And maybe Pedro. Have people been here from the start? Who has been here from the start? You guys are amazing, if that's the case. Yep, I've seen this build before. But it's okay, since it's only 2 times, maybe more. The current wave of Harry Potter Castle sets are theoretically the largest minifigure scale Hogwarts. Yeah, they should be. Still ongoing. I wonder for how many years that system will go on. Should be a lot. There's still... Well, there's not that much stuff missing, right? Now that I think of it, the Great Hall has been done, the tower, well, there's still some buildings missing for sure, but I don't know. The bridge, yeah, there's still some stuff missing, yeah. They still have material to go for like, you know, more 2 or 3 years, perhaps. So far the Eiffel Tower isn't as bad as the Notre Dame. Okay. You just wait. Just wait and see. Okay. Here, here, and here. And now, sideways stuff. Olá, boa noite, manda um abraço. És um dos melhores canais do YouTube. Só sucessos. Deus te abençoe a ti e a tua família. Muito obrigado, Steve Creator. Portuguese comment saying very nice things. Abraços. And Portuguese is not the same as Spanish. Do not make that mistake. It's like saying Americans and Canadians are the same. Or Irish and British people, you know? There's that sort of rivalry, right? And then this goes here. It doesn't feel that stable. Man, oh, look at the gorgeous back. Yeah, this thing is going to be huge. Oh, and that's it for book number 2. Oh, that's cool. What time is it? Is this a good time to just stop? It might be. Let's see. If it's like a small room or something, I could push through a few more bags. Oh, it's just this. Okay, it's lots of bricks. Let's do this. So we are now entering book number 3. I haven't even taken the books out of the paper sleeves yet. So yeah, I did for book number 1 and 2, but not for 3 and 4, and I guess I'll keep 5 and 6 that way as well. So this part here is like the back of the bay door area or something. It's lots of bricks, so should be okay. But this might be this might be the last bag of the day. Back of the Death Star is a Mondrian painting, yeah. Bag 26 out of 81, if you're all keeping track. There you go. So it's like not slightly over a quarter of the build done. Oh man, this will be lots of live streams to complete. Lots of it. Oh, but this thing here with the Harry Potter ones won't be fun. These are like the stars, right? Going through the... Yeah. This will not be fun. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all, to be ending on this. Because I see lots of the wand elements. So this might be interesting to see or to show. So you see the white dot here. It's like a modified brick, and on the back of it what produces the white dot is a wand element stuck through it, like one of these things. And this looks great for stars, it will look great for stars in that bay door area, but there is a lot of ones here, so this is something that I'll be doing a lot, I'm guessing, for this part of the build. 200 people still watching. Thank you so much for keeping me company and being nice. And yeah, I think there is significant progress done today. This thing has grown in height, in width, and it's only going to get crazier. If you guys have the chance to go to like a Lego store or something and they have the model built, you'll realize how insane the size of this thing is, because it's really hard to comprehend just from the video, but if you see it in person, it's a beast. It's a beast of a build. So I guess we're doing different sections so that doesn't fall while building. Every book when Arial touches gets destroyed. Thinks, oh man, drying pages with a hairdryer. That's insane. That's why I like the digital building instructions. Make it easier in certain cases. So Nicholas is building the Eiffel Tower, bags 1 and 2. That's only just the base, right? I think the hard part of the Eiffel Tower is when you start like building the supports and all of these cross sections of small builds that you have to do with clips and bars, and you'll do that like hundreds of times. So when you get there, I think that will be the hard part. And it's getting increasingly harder to speak, so I don't know. If I don't lose my voice today, it won't take long. Almost midnight. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think this will be the last bag for sure. This will be a nice way to end the stream. Now for the next steps, I'm not too sure. I need to see how I feel tomorrow, because I would like to get as much as this done as I possibly can over the weekend. And yeah, since I started the build on a live stream, might as well just continue doing it. A live streaming. I'm not sure that I'll be good enough to continue tomorrow, but I should. Otherwise I'll never get this done. And I need to clear space in my desk to be able to start recording some reviews next week of stuff that I've been building for the past few days. Today I finally built the WALL-E Lego set, the WALL-E and Eevee, and that was a good one. Nothing like crazy in terms of building techniques, but the fact that the models are like so well detailed at such a small scale. I don't know if any of you guys and girls have built the original Lego Ideas WALL-E like many years ago. I think that was like the first Lego Ideas set that I bought. And so the scale of this new WALL-E is much smaller. And then of course you also have Eve, not Eevee, Eve. So you get Eve, but my favorite actually is Mo. That was my favorite robot of the movie, so man, if that was a standalone model like a polybag or something, I would get like millions of those. So the entire thing was really good. And I think it's like fairly priced. It's like $70 or $80. I don't know how much is it, but I remember the price being very fair, and the set only has prints, and it has a ton of prints. Like no stickers at all, but tons and tons of prints for all of the details that you see there, which is like seriously impressive. Every now and then there's like one of these Lego sets that show up and they like completely kill it and defy logic how they can manage to include that much value in them. It's really hard to understand, really, at times, how they can manage to do that. But yeah, I think WALL-E and Eve is one of those. And here are our stars. Let's build over the Death Star. Maybe not. It's not that. Okay. So this is facing this way. Yes, yes. Does it look good from over there? Because from this side it doesn't. Oh yes, it does look nice. Let's just lock this up. Okay. Tile and a plate, and that's it for bag number 26. So today we only built like 11 bags. Last time it was like 15, today 11. But it feels like we made a lot more progress since this thing like actually grew in height, whereas before we were just around here, but now we have all of these. So that is nice. Some progress. We have 2 floors for the lift to go through, and of course we have the trash compactor function down there working as intended, which is really cool. Yeah, I think that's a wrap, people. Still 200 people watching. Thank you so much, everyone. So let's just look at the last comments. New Wally looks interesting. I built a modified version of the idea's Wally, made him a mashup of the Wally and the T1 Terminator drone with miniguns instead of arms. That sounds like a cool project. Yeah, the head was falling every time. Yeah! Yeah, I bought the set and then I got like this extra package to fix the neck of the Wally, because the original Wally had an issue with the neck where it wasn't able to hold its weight. So it was always falling. But then people who ordered the Wally got the a special package of pieces sent home with some instruction steps to fix it. And I think that like following versions of Wally had the fixed neck in the building instructions and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a good one. But this one, it's nice. It's really nice. France loves you. Thank you for the Death Star building. Merci beaucoup. Good night. Bye. Yeah, I think that's a good way and a nice way to wrap it up. So thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around. And yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday, we'll get to continue the live stream. But for now, yeah, I'm done. Bye, everyone. See you all in the next one.